and welcome in to be our guest. And we have with us Michael Jordan. And Michael, what is your actual title?
I am whatever someone needs me to be at Alabama Power, but I'm the area manager for Alabama Power's Southern Division, which is largely central Alabama.
Yeah, and he fills in as my adopted son. So,
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit about, electricity is, you talk about electricity, you talk about water, you talk about things that are essential
Yes.
to our lives. And give us a kind of a snapshot into what the future looks like as relative to electricity.
It's a great question. So we have full departments that are thinking through that question every day. What not only can we do today to make our grid and the power system more reliable, safer, more secure, but what does the electrical system look like 5, 10, 15, 20 years into the future, so that we're not only meeting current demand, but we're anticipating future needs and what type of growth. And we're not, and all utilities go through that.
True,
No matter where they are, they're all going through that planning phase. So I would say there are some things that are being done now. Fiber. People think fiber to the home. That's how I get my internet to run faster. My Netflix loads more, all of those things, and that's absolutely true. Well, Alabama Power has deployed fiber to make our grid more secure and resilient. And there are great examples of where fiber has been deployed in areas. What perhaps was maybe a 2 or 4 hour outage in the past for an entire neighborhood now becomes maybe a 10-minute outage for half of the neighborhood. It's still the closest to, let's say a tree falls. Those homes closest to that tree may still have that 2 or 4 hour outage, but those farther away now have a very short outage because the system is smarter. And the system can be smarter because of the fiber that's being deployed and the ability for all of that stuff to talk and communicate with one another. So when we talk about fiber, it is for all of those end uses that people may think about, broadband and internet access, but we think about it as the way that we more reliably run the electrical system to make sure that we serve today more quickly and more securely than has been done in the past.
So we often hear about cybersecurity, and we hear about the potential that enemies have for shutting down the grid. Tell us what that involves, and tell us how you're working to try to preserve the security of that, because I think that's a big issue.
Sure. Well, I'm certainly no expert on the cybersecurity piece, but what I hope I give great comfort to those that are viewing to say that we have groups that are monitoring every day, intercepting not only the large stuff, but the very smallest of threats that may come in regarding critical infrastructure, the electricity system as a whole. And part of that security is that fiber deployment that we've been talking about. So there are groups that get up every day thinking about how can we make our system more secure so those bad actors do not have that opportunity to take advantage of us.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's just important that you realize that a lot of what we pay actually for our bills also I have to assume goes for research and development and for these things that are going to keep us safe, not just keep our lights on, but everything else that has to be done.
But it's a great question, and it's a question that utilities across the country are asking themselves. How do we make our system safer, more reliable, and preventing, not just responding to, but preventing those attacks that inevitably will come?
Well, I think on a closing note, I'd like to just say that as with everything, there's a limited supply of electricity. I mean, you take care of yourselves, take care of all of our resources, and if you don't need to use something, do what Mike has said before, turn off your lights, do all of the things that make sense so that you can preserve what we have. And thank you so much for
thank
everything
you.
that you all do and for offering all the services that you do.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. And thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back.